Hello, this is a demo of Mindsmith. I'm one of the co-founders, Ethan. So when you log into Mindsmith, this is the dashboard I'm brought to. I'm in My Content, so all of this is personal to me. You can see that I have folders and I have my loose lessons here. I can also manage my organization if I want to do that. So I can manage my projects. All of my team members can work in real time on my projects with me. I can manage my members and I can manage branding. So I can upload my default logo, have a default theme, create a theme unique to my organization. I can have favorites. So just logistically, those are kind of the basics of Mindsmith. You also, our bread and butter is generating lessons with the AI though. So it's pretty straightforward. You just click create here and then generate lesson. This brings you to what we call our content engine. You can see within our content engine that there are two main ways to generate a lesson. You can either convert a document or teach a topic. Converting a document will follow the document more precisely and follow the flow of the document, but it gives you less control. Whereas teaching a topic will use your document more as context or source material for the AI. So it's pretty straightforward. First, I start by giving it a topic. I have one saved here. Food safety for hotel employees. So let's say I'm a large hotel chain and I want to make sure that that my workers are being safe with how they handle food. So I can say this is for Swiss international hotels, focus on example scenarios. I can also say, teach in a narrative style, or I can give the learning objectives here within background information. So any macro guidance that I want to give the AI when generating a lesson. The next thing I would do is add source materials. So I have a standard operating procedure here that I'll upload. Source materials are cool because anything that's internal to your organization will use as context. So the output of the lesson is highly tailored to your organization's needs. Next thing I would do is click on language. So whatever language I want to be the primary language, we can always translate the lesson later on though. And then I'll click on options. There are some more advanced options, so I can make it a little bit longer. I can change the lesson mode. I can say whether the images are all Creative Commons or all images. The next thing we usually recommend is that people that have a vision for the course, that you fine-tune the outline. Fine-tuning the outline is cool because it gives you a lot of control over the guidance that you're giving the AI. So we have to generate 6 sections. It'll generate a subtopic for each of these 6 sections and a description of the section. So it's really cool because it's fully editable. So I can take things out that I think are extraneous, or I can add sections that I think are important, or I can change the description to teach in a specific way. So I could say maybe pre-service food safety protocols. I could say using an example of an employee who did the wrong thing, teach about the safety food procedures followed before serving food. So something like that. So it's a lot of power here within the editor for the lesson outline. So you can kind of tell the AI what your vision for the lesson is. Cool, now that the lessons generate, we'll just click Open Lesson here. And it'll bring us to a new tab that has the lesson in it. You can see it generated the title, it generated an overview for what the lesson will be, and it generated cards for each of these 6 sections. It generates these teaching cards, so instruction, kind of just text cards. It generates these quizzing cards. It generates these flashcards that are pretty cool, kind of interactive for your learners. It also generates these accordion cards, so I can learn about specific things with kind of this interactive accordion mechanism. And those are kind of the main cards that it generates. We also have some different types of cards, or let's see if it followed our instructions here on the scenario. So this is where we asked it to teach something that an employee did wrong. So it's pretty straightforward. It says the scenario, she's tasked, this is her task, let's follow her through her journey. And then it talks about her first mistake, so talking about the mistakes. This is an opportunity for me to use the AI assistant. The AI assistant is really powerful because the initial generation gets you about 80 to 85% of the way there, but the assistant gets you the rest of the way. So it's used for fine-tuning the lesson. And it's cool because I can regenerate this specific card based on an additional prompt. So it'll still take into context all the other context that I've given it, but it'll also consider this prompt. So I can say regenerate this card with more context on the story of Sophia, and it'll regenerate this card based, with longer context, more story around this example scenario. So a lot of power there. Within the authoring tool itself, we also have a really robust suite of tools and interactivity that you can have here. So everything's fully WYSIWYG if you want to edit it. So you can just start typing. And you can highlight to get, your bullets and your numbers. You can add images, so we integrate with Unsplash and Giphy. We also integrate with Stable Diffusion, so you can generate AI images, or you can upload your own images or search the web. We also have an AI narration, so if you want to add AI narration or upload your own narration, we can do that as well. So a lot of power here within the authoring tool. Another thing that's really cool is we have some cards that we don't quite generate yet. One example of that is a matching card. So matching is really cool. You can kind of give them a little game basically for the learners, and it'll grade the game for them. We also have a short answer card, so it'll actually grade the learner using artificial intelligence based on how well their answer matches the answer that you've given. We have some other interactive cards, like we have this hot button card. This is used a lot of times in like software training scenarios if you want to see, kind of guide the learners to give more information on certain places where they can click. So really kind of cool card there. You can also generate new cards under an additional prompt. So let's say I forgot, it didn't talk about handling raw chicken. I could say generate a card on handling raw chicken, and it'll generate this card, and I can tell it which type of card to generate. So that's kind of the basics of Mindsmith as an authoring tool. We also have some cool stuff like granular analytics. You can track deeply what your learners are doing, see how much time is spent on a card, what the average performance on an individual question is. You can also see, the number of learners and kind of do some tracking there. And that's true whether you're exporting via SCORM, XAPI, CMI5, public link, QR code, SMS, email, whatever. You can, it tracks all of it. Another cool feature that we've recently added is the ability to manage versions of different languages. So I can actually create a new version of this lesson in a different language. So I could say generate the Spanish and the French version, and I just click add translations, and it'll create new versions of this lesson. The cool thing about this is if I export via SCORM or XAPI or link or whatever, the file itself will actually read the device language of the learner, and it'll dynamically upload the lesson according to the learner's need. So, for example, if my phone is in Spanish, then it'll give me as a learner the Spanish version of the lesson. I can also toggle if I want as a learner, so you can have, they can manually change the language. But it's also really powerful and saves you a ton of time operationally on managing different versions of the file. So I can go to the Spanish one and I can edit it in Spanish if I'd like to do that. Another cool thing about Mindsmith is that when you share, you can, of course, manage your grading settings. But when you share via SCORM, it's a dynamic SCORM file, meaning as you update something in Mindsmith, it updates in your LMS automatically. So we manage all of the kind of version control and project management of instructional design here within Mindsmith as well. So that's an overview of Mindsmith. If you have any questions or you're interested in some of the new features or some of the stuff that we have in our pipeline, let me know and we can get you set up with either a demo of a pro account or a demo of a Teams account. Thanks.